Benfiquista, é onde o sonho se conquista. O bem e o Benfica, unidos na voz. Aqui somos muitos, mas sentimos como um só. Cantinho Benfiquista, é onde o sonho se conquista. O bem e o Benfica, unidos na voz. Aqui somos muitos, mas sentimos como um só.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to episode 229 of Cantinho Benfiquista podcast. No time to waste. As always, I am your host. I am Mike. I am joined by our friends Bill and by Kenny. I'll go left to right as always. Bill, how are you? Welcome back. It's been a while since we've been here.
Yeah, feels like it's been forever, but
no,
it's good to be back. Good to get back into our therapy session and decompress from the season.
I know we've needed it. Kenny, welcome back. How are you?
Yeah, doing well, guys. Happy to be back. It has been a while for me too, but here I am. Let's talk about it.
Here we are. Yeah, it's been a little while. Life has been crazy. No real excuse, but here we are to finish out the season, another disappointing season. We talk about and joke about this all the time, but I feel like we've had more disappointing seasons since we've started the podcast than positive ones. But there's a turning point somewhere, hopefully.
I legit, when I grabbed this shirt and threw it on, I was like, dude, this was the last time we were like happy on the pod at the end of the year.
Seriously. Yeah, it's been a while. Today we will talk about the ending to the season, how it ended. Did it meet? Obviously, it didn't meet anyone's expectations, but is anyone surprised? I guess will be the main focal point. Obviously, finishing third throws a wrench in planning for next season, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the elephant in the room, or I guess it's not even an elephant in the room anymore. It's the Jose Mourinho situation. Obviously, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of rumors. Is he staying? Is he going? Why hasn't he said anything? Why hasn't Rui Costa said anything? There's just so many things that we can kind of dig into on that aspect. But we'll talk about that. We'll look at the squad, right? We're losing Otamendi. Who else do you guys expect to leave and why? Who would you sell? Who would you loan? Who would you keep? We'll go with 3 just to keep it a little bit more concise. And then player of the season and disappointment of the season. I feel like player of the season probably all have the same one. Disappointment of the season, there's probably a lot of options that we could pick from, and it doesn't have to be a player. I guess it could be anything. I'll open it up, so give me your thoughts. But before we jump in, if you're watching us, listening to us, please join the conversation. We're live on all platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Kick, Instagram. So join the conversation, let us know what you're thinking. And para a malta que esteja a ver em português, se sentem mais à vontade em comentar em português, estejam à vontade. Todos nós percebemos português, por isso estejam à vontade de deixar os vossos comentários, as vossas opiniões, e nós iremos falar sobre elas. And don't forget to leave us a like, follow, share, subscribe, do all those fun things for us. It takes 5 seconds, and we appreciate it. So, third place. We finished third place in the season. Undefeated, though. We didn't lose a game in the league. But we did have 11 draws, which is shocking, to say the least. 23 wins, 11 draws, 80 points. We finished 2 out of second place. We finished 8 out of first place. 74 goals scored, 25 conceded. Of the top 3, we had the most goals conceded. Porto had 18, Sporting 24, us 25. And then we had more goals scored than Porto. They had 66, we had 74, but 15 less scored than Sporting. Bill, I'll start with you. How would you sum up the season as a whole? Like, were you surprised? I mean, having Mourinho come in, like, did it surprise Are you surprised the way it ended? Did it happen exactly what you thought was going to happen?
So like once we sacked.
Before you go, I forgot Oscar was in the backstage. He finally joined. All right.
Here he
Welcome,
is.
sir. I know that I saw
There he
you
is.
jumped in a couple of times and then you jumped out, so I didn't even realize you were there. All right. So Oscar has joined us now. Oscar, welcome back. Before Bill jumps in, welcome back. Any quick words you want to say before Bill jumps into the therapy session?
No, I was listening to you guys, so I kind of like I'm already in the
All right,
in
he's
the
ready to
moment.
go. Okay,
With
he's got his
in the
notepad
mood.
out. He's got his notepad out. He's ready to go. All right, Bill, hit me.
Once we sacked Lige,
Dude, you had to start with that already? That guy's name?
well,
You had to start right out of the gates.
we're going. This is a recap of the season, right? And how
I thought
how it
Oscar was
ended
going to
and
be the first one to mention that name, but you had to start.
I missed him. I don't miss him, but once that happened, we all knew we were in for one of those emotional roller coasters type season, right? Like it could go one of two ways. Either the team gets behind the new manager, which ended up being Mourinho, and fights for a title, or you see the team like drop off. And we unfortunately got like a mix of it, right? Like against the big teams, we showed up and played well for the most part. I mean, that Porto game, the first Porto game was frustrating as all hell, just sitting back.
Yeah.
But
it was early days.
Right. It was just against the smaller teams, we would stumble. And then it was like every time Porto or Sporting fumbled and we're like losing losing their hold on their position in the league, and we had a chance to kind of throw our name back into the title race, we would fumble, and it was legit was just over and over. And this is something that Kenny's harped on for not just this year. This has been like 3 years that Kenny's gone on about how this team like mentally just can't take that next step and be an actual title contender. And it's unbelievably frustrating when for the longest time I thought battle for second. I didn't think we would get anywhere near Porto. And then Porto slips up a few times. We play Porto. It looks like we're back in it. And then we fucking just fumble it again. Like just against the games you should win and win easily. We just seem to just struggle. And yes, I know fans will point to referee decisions and VAR and but at the end of the season, if you look at it as a whole, I'm sure like the calls we didn't get and the calls we did get that probably shouldn't have gone our way, it probably levels out at the end of the day.
No chance.
It just I do there's a lot from the beginning of the season that you can go back and look that
Oscar's got his notebook ready to go.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't go our way. It just the stuff that happened at the end of the season is just fresh in our mind, and everyone's going to harp on that. But at the end of the day, I think it all at the end levels out. So I mean, to sum up, season frustrating, right? Like we went into it with hopes at the off of what happened last season, and Lige seemed like he had the team fighting, and then to start off the way we did and struggle in the Champions League, drop points early, manager switch, like it just rinse and repeat, right? This is just the third season now where we're changing managers early on in the season, and then second, we'll go potentially third, see what happens fucking coming up. But it's just it's annoying at this point. Like it's legit. It feels like we're just banging our heads against the wall.
Agreed. Welcome in, Lewis. I lost all respect for our coach. We'll get to that. I'm sure some of us have share the same sentiment. Kenny, since you were second here, I'll pass it to you. Anything that you would add from Bill's perspective, and I guess I'll add the caveat here for those that do listen or at least don't follow us frequently. Kenny's probably the most of the four of us. He's been the most pessimistic this season. Oscar historically has been the pessimist, but I feel like Kenny in the last 12 months has definitely taken that title. So what would you add to what Bill said?
Well, personally, I came into the season with very high expectations. And I think it's very well documented in the early podcast that we did at the beginning of the season, where Porto was coming off of, a historically bad season. They were going through changes with their front office, right, with the president. And I came into it with, okay, Benfica's, they've got some continuity with Lage. We had just finished in second place. We were probably, not the overall best team, but I think we signed some good players, or at the time we thought we signed some good players, had a strong roster, and it was all an illusion. All an illusion. Even the first title, we won the first title of the season, right?
Yeah, super
I had very high expectations coming into the season. And as the season unfolded, I saw a repeat of what had happened the previous 2 years. You sack the coach early on, unfolds everything. You have an election, right, at the beginning of the season.
October.
Absolutely disrupts, in my opinion, the team, the organization, everything. Mourinho comes in. Everyone's got high hopes, and I wasn't as high on Mourinho. Now, people talk throughout the entire season. Oh, we're undefeated. That's the only thing that we tried to like lie to ourselves. Like, oh, but we're still undefeated. I like gave up on the season pretty much right after the break. Like, I just didn't see any hope. I didn't see any changes. Mentally, this team was a big fraudulent the whole entire time. And I'm super disappointed. Now, Porto, coming off of, I think they were back-to-back third-place finishes for them, to turn it around and to win the league, and Benfica is just getting worse, it's just unacceptable. I don't understand. Like, it's almost like Benfica is losing its mystica, right? Like, we want to talk about the youth and finding players that'll fight for the club, and this mystica, like, the club is losing it. I don't feel it with Mourinho coming in. People want, again, I think we just lie to ourselves, like, oh, he's, where he first started, this and that, like, oh, it's going to be different. No, dude, like, this is not, and we're seeing it all over again. Players don't want to come back, and I'm going on a rant here, but like the Bernardo Silvas don't want to come back. The Mourinho who's supposedly like, oh, when Benfica comes knocking, you don't say no. It's all fucking bullshit. It is. It's complete bullshit, and it's time for us to like wake up and like this is what we're dealing with now. Like, the whole aura around the club is just disappointing. I gave up on the season early enough, and because I just didn't want to go through the disappointment like the previous 2 years. And I'm sorry to be that way, but I think it's the reality that we're facing right now. And I don't see it changing anytime soon because, in my opinion, and we've said it before, it starts at the top of the club. And unfortunately, Rui Costa is a passive president who has made plenty of bad decisions, and we're stuck with him for another 4 years or whatever it is. And I don't see that mentality changing. I just see a rinse and repeat again. And it's just sad. I mean, we're not going to be in Champions League next year. It's frustrating. Like, who's going to want to? I don't know. Like, things could easily flip? Yes, in the Portuguese league, I get it. It's a 50-50 league, whatever. It's a three team race, but I just don't see Benfica again. We're more of a finesse, passive club. We're not that hard nosed, grinding team, Pitbull style. Like, that's just not us, and I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Fair. I can agree with a lot of what you said. Oscar, how would you sum it up? What do you add to what they said?
I mean, this is, yeah, I agree with both what they both said. There's a frustrating season. We started off, with high hopes. We spent a lot of money to get the team to a coach picked the team this time, right? Not like previous years where a coach came in halfway through preseason or after preseason. This time the coach picked the team for the season, right? And then all of a sudden we got rid of the coach that picked that team, right? 4 games into the season, we got rid of that coach. So that basically disrupts the whole plan for the season. Like, and then like Kenny said, having elections in the same year with a few months later, it's even worse. Now, whoever decides to have the elections in October is a complete dumbass. Or if it's like, I don't know, I'm not sure how they cannot change that to like the break.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
it makes
they have to change this. They have to vote on the statutos to change it. But again, that was one of the frustrations that I had last season. Was there was a process in place of reviewing the statutos and seeing things that we could change, and there was so much focus on so much other shit, like not having a monochromatic logo and always having to have a certain colored jersey. Like, and I get it, all those things are important, right, to keep the DNA of the club alive. But like something like this, like having elections in October in the middle of the season, I think is so ridiculous. And I get it. People can argue, well, if you have it at the end of the season, people are going to be stuck in the emotions of, was it a good season? Was it a bad season? You can argue both ways, whether you have it in October or whether you have it in May.
No, but the thing is, in October, it took Lodge to tie a game in the 92nd minute, which is Santa Clara, right? And then lose one where they were up 2-0 on the Champions League, like, to get him fired. That's it. Right after he won a Super Taça and got us into the Champions League, right? So if it wasn't elections in October, do you think you would have fired him after those 2 games?
No, I think the Karabag was a very big.
I think the Karabag one was the
It wasn't that game because we're up 2-0 and they turned it around at home, right? I get that is a bad result, but it's one game. You don't fire a coach after one bad result.
I don't disagree that I think the elections, the timing of the elections and that result
doesn't help. Yeah.
It doesn't because the fans were asking for him to get out, and if he didn't make a change and get somebody big, just like I forget, it's on the tip of my tongue, but like somebody got a big coach just to win the elections. It felt like I need to get Mourinho in here, not like just to win the elections. I think that's what Rui Costa's thing behind Mourinho was. I need to get a big name in here so the fans get behind me and I can win the elections. At that point,
it's like Real Madrid right now.
Maybe now Perez is trying to use the same token. Use Mourinho to win the elections. Will that work? Is Mourinho that big of a pull right now? I don't know. But that to me is just frustrating because we had a coach that lost the season last year, disappointing. But if you want to get rid of that coach at that time, get rid of him last year. Don't let him make the team for this year and then lose one game and get rid of him like that after he made that team. Okay, he asked for those players, Sudakovs and all those guys to come in, and then all of a sudden you get rid of him after one game. That can completely destroy the season for me. I thought Mourinho would come back and whip these guys into shape and like make them, like Kenny said, get Garra behind them. They had some games against the big teams where they like shit. Against Real Madrid was like one of the games. Like I'm like, it might be one of the games of the history of Porto of Benfica. If I'm not mistaken, I haven't seen a game like that in Europe against a big club like Real Madrid and us completely destroying them, right?
Yeah.
So to me, like we had some of those glimpses of highs in the season, but most of the time it was frustrating, like Kenny said, against the small teams where we tied, where we couldn't get a goal, where we just like looked lost half the season, and it was very disappointing. And I think a lot has to do with the coach switching right at the beginning. And basically not having, like Kenny said, the mystica behind Benfica or letting go of identity as a team. And that's, to me, is just a frustrating part of the season for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. And just quickly, our Paulo77 on Instagram says, Kenny's right, falta a mística, já não somos o Benfica dos tempos dos nossos pais e avós por culpa própria. Em alturas determinantes, os sócios não têm sabido escolher. That's the harsh truth, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I think you guys said it all, right? I think, again, and I wrote an article recently. The average time with Rui Costa as president. I mean, I'm not counting JJ because JJ wasn't hired by him. He was the vice president at the time. But in terms of coaches that Rui Costa has hired as president, and again, not counting Nelson Veríssimo because he was an interim, the average time that a coach stays at Benfica in 5 years has been like 400 and something days, like just over a year, right? Which is crazy, right? Like
Mhm.
the fact that you want to have continuity and you're just keeping these managers for just over a year, it's impossible. And when you add to that the constant rotation of the squad, right, all of that combined makes it extremely difficult. So I agree with everything you guys said. In terms of my expectation, I think I agree with you guys. I had high hopes. I thought some of the players that we brought in were going to have a different impact than they ended up having. I wasn't a big fan of Mourinho. I think I made that more than clear on a number of times. I just wasn't a fan of his posture, of his demeanor. And I said it during the season. I felt like he had changed. His demeanor seems to have changed. He seems to be a little bit more humble. While he may make some comments kind of, and you can read between the lines. But for the most part, he seems to be a little bit more down to earth than he was early stages. So I didn't really have, when he came in, my expectation was like Oscar, right? Like a guy with his background, a guy with his history is going to at least be able to come in and grab hold of this locker room. And then where it takes us, we don't know. I think we can all agree that Jose Mourinho's teams in recent history haven't played the most fantastic and free-flowing football, right? So it's not like we had anything super positive to hang our hats on. But at the end of the day, like Bill said, is, we had a number of opportunities to at least get a little bit closer, right? To get that opportunity to even just sniff it a little bit, right? We had the Porto game at home where I think if we win that, we cut it to 4 points difference to first place, right? And that gives you potentially another boost. The one thing that stands out to me the most, going back to what Oscar said, was that game against Real Madrid where we won to get into the next phase of the Champions League. And I was at that game. Dude, the atmosphere in the stadium and just feeling the emotion come from the players and just seeing their celebrations, I was for sure certain. I remember having a conversation with Luis the next day as we were walking through Lisbon, and I said, the way they won that game, the emotion, the motivation, I felt like there was nothing that they couldn't do from that point forward in that season. Like the way you get into that next round of the Champions League when everyone was counting you out, last kick of the game, goalie scores the goal, you get into the next round, right, when you had no right even being in that next round against the Real Madrid at home. The stadium was buzzing, and then you can't build off of that, which is crazy to me. Like if there was ever a moment to pick up all that momentum and ride that wave, it was that game. And I felt like we never were able to get onto the surfboard again. It was just like we got there, and then it was just like constantly trying to get back up. And it's like, what the hell are we doing? So all in all, third place is super frustrating. It's not what we expected for a variety of reasons. And at the end of the day, I feel like a team that, sure, we didn't lose any games, but you tie 11. I mean, you ended up getting what you deserved at the end of the day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Again, and we can go back and forth in terms of referee decisions. And yes, I think there's benefits and disadvantages. And I think, in my opinion, there was some calls that went in favor of others that didn't go in our favor. But at the end of the day, you don't lose any games, but you tied 11 games. Like that's incredible for a team like Benfica to tie 11 games. And some of those 11 games were at home against Santa Clara. Right. Again, we tied against Casapia, right? Away 1-1, was it?
Most of the games, most of them were, we had the lead. We let them tie.
We tied Casapia at home 2-2, right? What else was the one that we tied?
That Casapia game was the handball from Antonio Silva.
The penalty, and then they scored the one that Rios lost in the midfield, and the guy went and scored. The young kid scored. We tied at home against Sporting 1-1. Let's see, who else did we tie at home? There was another one that I believe Santa Clara was the one with Lage still 2-2 or 1-1. The Otamendi mistake at the end of the game. So it's like just that, right? You got 6 points right there. Strela is another one.
That was away though. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, there's just games that you tied and you're just like, what the hell are we doing? But again, at the end of the day, you end up getting what you deserve when you tie 11 games. I mean, there's no excuses for that. Yeah, we tied Famalicão away after we were up 2-0. We tied Braga at home 2-2 when we were down 2-1, and we pulled a rabbit out of our ass and ended up tying it. So yeah, I think overall disappointing for everyone. We can change coaches and players all we want. Things will still be mediocre until the board changes. The next coach will just be the Karen Procanhão, which is true, right? I think talking about the average time that a coach stays, I think specifies that. Steven says, yes, it was a horrible season for us Benfica fans. Don't forget the referees robbed us from so many games. Yes, again, I think there was calls that didn't go in our favor that would have gone in favor of others. But again, at the end of the day, for a team like Benfica to tie 11 games, I mean, we can point in any direction that we want. We had a part to play in the terrible decision. What I will ask you guys, and I'll open it up, and whoever wants to go first, is being in the Europa League, right? Benfica hasn't been in the Europa League in quite some time. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say the last time Benfica was in the Europa League was when JJ was there, and it was during COVID, and we lost against Arsenal when they played with no fans. That was when he had the memorable meme of "Take it easy." Okay, it was during that press conference. So, I think that was the last time they were in it. Do you guys think, given the state of where this club is right now, right? There's a lot of contention in the fan base. There's a lot of division in the fan base because of the elections. Many people didn't want Mourinho. However you want to cut this up, but do you think, given the situation that we're in, do you think it's almost, that step back is almost a good reality check for where we're at, in the sense of going into a Champions League, no Portuguese team is a favorite, right? That's just the reality of it. Now, Benfica going into Europa League, they would naturally be one of the favorites just because of their history, because of the type of club that they are, right? I know AC Milan's in the Europa League. I think Juventus is in the Europa League. There are some other big clubs in the Europa League, but Benfica naturally should be one of the 5 favorites to win it. Do you think resetting, in a sense, is beneficial for us to kind of really pick the pieces back up and say, okay, let's figure this back out without the pressures of the Champions League, right? Unfortunately, it also kills us from a financial perspective, but also potentially, given the fact that you're playing on Thursdays and then Sundays or Mondays, also forces you to do a little bit more rotation of your squad, where you potentially could go get some of the youth players and kind of fill those guys in, because in the group stage, you're maybe playing, with no disrespect to any other teams, but on a Thursday night, you could be playing, in some random town in Kazakhstan against some team that no one knows, right? Which gives you the opportunity to rotate versus playing at the Bernabeu or at the Metropolitano or something like that. So whoever wants to go first, but do you guys think it's almost like I don't want to look at it as a positive, but almost kind of like a good reality check?
It's a good reset. I think you nailed it with that one, right? I think it's a good reset for the club. What I don't like, though, is the road, because we're not in it, the road to qualify for it,
Fair.
which will still have a lot of pressure coming out of the season to get there, right? Because if you somehow manage to F this up, now you're starting the season again with the fucking failure, right? So I would have been a lot happier if we were directly in. I mean, no excuses. They should get in. They need to get in. Like there's no pass. Like I'm not giving them a pass if they can't qualify for Europa League.
For sure.
But this is absolutely, I think, in my opinion, a good reset for the club. Lower the expectations a little bit. Like try to, or at least the competition a little bit, right? Get the expectation is to get far in this tournament, or it should be, and hopefully it'll help out in the season and get us back on track. But there's still a lot of moving parts from a team perspective that need to fall into place as well.
My thoughts, and I agree with Kenny, but my thoughts are this. Like, and I told you guys in the text as well. We have friendlies throughout the summer. The games we're playing right now against these teams, even though they mean more, are probably going to be easier than some of those friendlies that we're going to be playing for the preseason, right? Because I mean, I can't expect to play any top teams right now on the 6th round of qualifying for Europa. Like that's the reality. And I think if you go looking back in time in the JJ years, those 2009, 2010, 11, when we went to the Europa finals, like with the Javi Garcias and so on, right? I think those are the best teams I think Benfica had in my lifetime. Is those years where with Garay, Luizão on the back, we were like beating Tottenham and Everton 5-0. And those to me is the best Benfica that I've seen in my lifetime, right? And it was the years where we were in Europa. We made that team while we were in Europa without pressure. When I think of Champions League, I think we have to buy high-value players because we're in the Champions League. We have to buy the Rios. We have to buy the Sudakovs. We have to buy the Lukaku, whatever the fuck his name is.
And it goes on and it continues.
Right. So we have to buy all those already, high-profile players because now we're in the Champions League. I think I agree with having a reset because now we can actually plan a season with not that much pressure when it comes to Champions League. Not like we have to do well in Europa, and we have to do well. But
I mean, the expectation should be to win it,
correct, absolutely,
or at least to get to like a semi-final.
Or we can do it with some players from the academy. We can do it with some players like not spending 30 million on every single player now we get because we're not in Champions League anymore. We're in Europa. We can do with getting a guy that nobody knows in Brazil and becoming a stud. We can do with the, like we did with Javi Garcias, like we did with the Witzels, like we did with the Garais. Like that's what we need to reset. Players that like that can come in and basically grow with Benfica, just like those guys did. And we created a big team like we had in the past.
But
now with Sudakovs coming in, oh my God, they have to perform right away, and then they don't. And then look at this, we just wasted 25 million.
But will the World Cup come into play?
Yeah, it will, because now every single player that we don't know is probably going to become expensive.
And Fair. coming in tired if we're picking up players that have been playing.
But I don't think.
But I don't think we're looking at those players to buy. I think we're looking at the players like that don't get called to the World Cup.
But are you asking, Kenny? How does it come into play in terms of our players or transfer window?
Just like from a transfer window, right? You still got to. I think there's a lot of changes still to be made on this team, right? So like players coming in, are they going to be part of the World Cup? Are they not? Right? Is that a strategy? Like, hey, we're going to pick from a pool of players that aren't participating so that they can be a part of the training, pre-season. Right? The preseason.
And the preseason starts during group phase,
end of June.
Still,
yeah.
So it's like it like the World Cup. Maybe it comes into play, maybe it doesn't. But I think it might still have a little bit of effect. I think again, I don't think this 6 games to qualify. It should be a problem, but I mean, look at what we've been dealing like. Again, I'm coming from expect the worst and hope for the best because. But
when you say 6 games, it's 3 games, but 3 teams, but basically home and away, right?
2, correct? Yeah, 6 games. Yeah, so 3. You got two. I forgot what the rounds are called, but it's basically 2 qualification rounds and 1 playoff.
Yeah, but both home and away. So against 6 teams,
3 teams, 6 games.
Correct. Against these teams, technically, we should be able to win 1 game and then rotate the team for the next game. We should. Does that mean we're going to do it? No, I'm not sure.
Correct. And like looking at the potential opponents right now, Benfica would be a seeded team, right? And like we could get teams like Maccabi Tel Aviv, Karabag, Trabzonspor, Midtjylland, which is in Denmark, PAOK, Sint-Truiden from Belgium, Borak Banja Luka from Bosnia, Kairat Almaty, which was in the Champions League and got smacked around by everyone, Lillestrøm from Norway. So again, no disrespect to any of these teams. We've gotten knocked out by PAOK a few years ago when Zivkovic scored against us there.
Karabag beat us last year.
We lost to Karabag. We've beaten Maccabi. Was it Maccabi Tel Aviv that we won the 6-1?
7 or whatever it was. Yeah.
Right. But so again, with total respect for any of these teams, right, a team like Benfica shouldn't struggle. And to Oscar's point, depending on which game first is home or away, right, the hope is that Benfica should go into this in the sense of like, let's get this over with in the first leg, right? Yeah. Let's not leave it for the fucking second leg and be, pissing down our leg. Let's get it over with in the first leg. So then we can give some of these players that rest and maybe put in some of the youth players or least used players, right, and let them get their legs going versus, we're going to rotate and put ourselves under pressure, and then you go to the second game and then anything can happen, and we saw what happened against PAOK a few years ago. So,
and I'm sorry to be the pessimist, but Mike, how many times have we come on this podcast and say, let's put the game away in the first 5 minutes? We can put this game away. And what do? We piss away 45 minutes, and then we try to play catch up in the second half.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that's just been the reality, and it's hard to like move from that mentality until I've seen it on a consistent basis.
We had, if I remember correctly, we had one game all season where I would say we killed the game in the first half, and that was the last game of the season.
Oh,
we scored three goals in 15 minutes.
Yeah. Bill texted me. He's like, it's nice to put the game away early in the last game.
I legit don't remember another game all season where we finished the game in the first half and went into cruise control.
Yeah.
And it's sad that it took a full fucking season to get a game like that.
I know. And just going back to what I had said, so the last time that we had made, or the last time that we were in Europa League was the 2021-22 season. Our Paulo 77 says we played Europa League a few years ago. We got knocked out in the quarterfinals by a subpar Marseille team. I forgot about that. And I'm just trying to pull up. I can't remember if we lost 2-1 on aggregate. That game. No, the last time 2021-22 was when we lost to Liverpool. Oh no, this is Champions League. Hold on.
Yeah, we were there at that game.
Yeah.
So maybe 2020. Okay. Europa League. Yeah, round of 32 is when we got knocked out. So never under Rui Costa's tenure as president did we play in Europa League. So this will be the first time. But Bill, anything that you would add? Any concerns in terms of potential negative impact to us?
I mean, the obvious one is the financial impact, right? Like Benfica plans each season with Champions League money, and not having Champions League money is going to impact how you can build the squad. And we're now, I'm assuming, forced to sell to be able to buy. And unfortunately, we don't have, the one player that I would assume 99.99% of Benfiquistas want to keep, Andreas, is probably our most valued player. And are we going to be forced to sell him to be able to bring in another center back, bring in another striker type of thing, which is that's my biggest concern. Are we going to be forced to sell off our best players to be able to kind of fill in the missing pieces we have and kind of rebuild the squad?
From what I understand, I guess we have to sell 60 million in order to balance our books for the year. Is that correct?
Some say 60, some say 80.
I saw 80. Yeah, today I saw 80.
But I also read that
there's operating model.
But I heard that, or I read something that there's like two deals that they is it Coxu and Florentino that they have to hit their sell clause.
So they're both on a loan with the requirement to buy. So
we have those too.
So we have. So I don't know.
Obligation to buy, right?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
Coxu was obligation. I don't know about Tino.
Tino was too. But my curiosity, which I don't think is the case, is sometimes there's a clause in those contracts that say if you're relegated, it terminates that clause. I don't know if that's in the contract with Burnley, but nothing's been said. So I'm assuming no. On our side, there's the Enzo Barrenechea one, but I don't know what I haven't heard anything else apart from I heard that it was an obligation to buy, but I haven't heard anything else in terms of like how much it's actually going to cost or if there's any clause that we can get out of it. So we potentially have one that we have to pay. What'd you say?
About Sudakov. I thought Sudakov was another one.
Sudakov, we bought him, but we only have 70%.
Oh.
So Shakhtar we bought 70% of his pass, but I think Shakhtar has like 40% of any profit on a sale. So if we were to sell him, we'd have to sell him for a decent amount to at least get some return on it. And I stand corrected. The 23-24 season, we were in Europa League. I don't know if you guys remember. We played Toulouse. We struggled to beat them 2-1. And then we played Rangers. We beat them 3-2. If I'm not mistaken, Fabio, the guy that was at Porto, scored against us at home.
23-24.
Yeah, Fabio. The hell is the dude's name with the curly hair?
Yeah.
Fabio Vieira. He scored against us, I believe, at the side lose. We beat them 3-2 on aggregate, and then we lost in penalties to Marseille. I remember Obama Yang was playing there at the time, so I stand correct. So we have played in the Europa League with Rui Costa, and we lost.
Yeah.
Quickly here, let me see some of these comments. Steve says I would get rid of Pavlidis. I think at the end he was horrible. We'll get into that quickly. Let me just see if there's any other comments here on Instagram before we jump into the next. So next topic, Avi, is Mourinho. There's a release clause that was put into the contract as part of the negotiations, which is basically gives both sides the opportunity to back out of this. And in accordance to what was sent to the Sam Vam when the contract was signed, was that it's effective. There's 10 days to trigger the clause from the last day of the season. So the last day of the season was Sunday. So 10 days from that day, which I think triggered yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. And so now, right, we're kind of in a limbo, right? There's the whole rumors with Real Madrid. There's rumors about Marco Silva. There's rumors about now Fabregas. There's rumors about, I saw Cesar Peixoto today. But I think the biggest question is the Jose Mourinho situation, where there's a bunch of numbers floating around in terms of the clause. There's some saying that the release clause now, if Mourinho wants to leave, is 15 million. I've also seen that if Benfica wants to trigger the clause, it's 50% of what's remaining on his contract, which is about 3 million. So there's a lot of stuff kind of floating around on who's going to pay what. My question to you guys is two things. And one more point is the elections now, right? I don't think Florentino Perez expected there to be a candidate, and I don't know if you guys looked into it too much, but for you to be a candidate for Real Madrid, if I'm not mistaken, you need to have 20 years of being a member, and you need to have, based on the club's revenue, you need to be able to present that you have a net worth of 187 million to be able to be an official candidate of the club. So I'm assuming that's their way to show that, like, you don't need the club's finances to be able to, or to want to be president, right? You have your own money, which is crazy. So I don't think he expected there to be another candidate. The reality is Enrique Riquelme, who's a guy that's associated to, I think it's energy, an energy company, and he's got lots of money. So this impacts, because I believe the elections would be around June 9th. So again, it prolongs that, right? That's another week and a half. With that said, my questions to you guys are, or questions not just to you guys, is questions that I have as well, is, right, for someone, one, do you understand Benfica's silence, right? Rui Costa said he was going to come out and speak to the fans about the season. And in my opinion, I understand his silence. Why? Because if he comes out and just talks about the season and tries to not talk about Mourinho, he's going to get shredded. That's just the reality of it, because you can't talk about the season and not talk about the situation. The other side is, I know why he doesn't talk about the situation, because Benfica doesn't want to be the one to trigger the clause, right? He's got a contract still. He's still got a year on his contract. He wanted a renewal, and that's fine, but he's still got a contract, 1-year contract with Benfica, and the clause time has surpassed, right? So I can understand in the sense of Benfica doesn't want to be the one triggering it, so they're basically putting the ball in his court. So I understand the silence. Does it suck? 1,000%. On the other side of it, with all this going on, let's just say that this falls through for Mourinho, right? Like, does he just be like, all right, I'm back? And do you guys think that with all this going on, he basically, if he was to come back, which I don't think is going to be the case, he basically lost power and respect in that locker room of, like, bro, like, you've been clearly on the way out, waiting for something to happen in Madrid. That didn't happen. And now you're like, all right, I'll come back. Right. And which, the thing that pisses me off the most is he self-proclaimed finally that he is a Benfica fan in his last press conference of the season. So as a Benfica fan, and I don't know, maybe if I want to play devil's advocate and be the most optimistic person, I've tried thinking and convincing myself of this. It was like, all right, he knows that if this drags out, Benfica is going to get those 15 million that's circulating, right? So maybe as a Benfica fan, he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to drag my feet. Internally, we're going to talk. We're not going to release any information, and Benfica will get 15 million, and I'll walk away, and they'll get 15 mil. I haven't been able to convince myself that's actually what's going on. But with that said, and I'll open it up, whoever wants to jump in first. But like, one, are you surprised by this? Two, the silence of the club. Are you surprised by it? And three, like, if this falls through, what happens next?
That's the problem, right? Like, if he doesn't go, how can he? Does he come back and act like he never had any interest? No, that was never happening. That was just newspapers reporting. I'd never said I wanted.
I mean,
to go,
he said in his last press conference, "Ninguém é parvo."
Yeah. So
right?
like,
so he basically said there's something happening.
How can you come back? Like, and that's the issue. Like, then it's up to Benfica to either. The part that sucks is it feels like, I mean, it doesn't feel like it's what's happening. Real Madrid's elections are dictating what Benfica can do and Benfica prep for next season, which pissed me the fuck off. Like, we already have a shortened offseason because of going into Europa League and having all those qualifying matches. So it's already short to begin with. And we need to plan and buy, sell, play, whatever. And we can't do any of that without a coach. So we're just sitting here with our finger in our ass.
But the worst part is we have a coach. Election. He's under contract.
I know, but like,
that's like the weird nuance where it's like, we have a coach.
But like, do we let him start picking play? Like, you know what I mean? Like, start building the squad, and then next week he's gone.
That's the weird gray area.
Isn't Rui Costa playing like paddleball or something? Aren't those?
That was another thing.
There was a picture.
His wife.
Around.
His wife.
I feel like everyone's just at a pause. You know, it's World Cup time. The season's over. This whole thing is thrown a wrench into the plan.
Yeah, he doesn't help himself either. With
what I would love to see is, and it won't happen, but would be Rui Costa taking a stand. You go or you don't go.
And that's what I was going to say.
You want to go or you don't know if you want to stay, you're gone. Fuck it. Eat the money, whatever you pay it. Bring in the next guy. Start this. Like,
wait. I'm a question. So right now, if we decide not to continue with him, we have to pay him
15.
Correct. So the clause was
whatever
both
they
ways.
were. Yeah, whatever the clause.
Benfica could back out.
I thought there was a release clause where we can just shake hands and go away.
No, there would be one side or the other would have to pay.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the rumor is right now. If Mourinho was to leave, Real Madrid would have to pay 15 million. I've been watching a lot of news on this, and from the information that I have or that I've seen is if Benfica wanted to trigger it on their side and say, see you later, they would have to pay 50% of the remainder of his contract, which is about 3 to 4 million. So that's what I was going to say, Bill, was, and I had mentioned it in the WhatsApp group, is does it come to the point where like Rui Costa just says, listen, we can't keep sitting on our hands and waiting, right? If this is going to continue to drag out. So listen, either do you want to stay or are you waiting to go somewhere else? If you don't want to stay, right? And if Champions League is what's swaying you and you don't want to play in Europe, then fine, right? But we need to take a stance. And if we need to pay the 3 million or the 4 million and go on with our lives, then we're going to go on with our lives. On the other side of that, right? I think that would be him showing some, I guess, some capability of leadership. On the other side of it, he's going to get smashed on it anyways, because then people are going to be like, why would you put that in the clause? And people are already doing it, right? Why did you put that in the clause? Because it complicates, and now you're burning mais, já com o dinheiro que já gastaste, já andas a queimar mais 3 or 4 milhões, right? So regardless of what decision he makes, he's going to get shredded.
It's always going to be.
I feel like he has a good relationship with Mourinho. Do you guys not feel that?
I agree too, or at least that's what I feel.
So a private meeting with Mourinho. Hey, are you interested in going to Real Madrid? What if we shake hands and we don't pay anything? I'll move on and you move on. We don't have to pay you.
You're forgetting one.
There's
big
the
piece.
agent, Jorge Mendes.
Correct. There's a guy named Jorge Mendes.
He gets a piece of the pie. When he leaves, Jorge Mendes cashes out too.
Correct. But that's the thing, right? Like, and I said that in the WhatsApp, and I think I was talking Luis and his brother and Joao. I don't think it was in the big WhatsApp, which is, dude, if and to your point, Oscar, if he's a Benfica fan, like he says, right, he gets to the table and says, no, fuck you, Jorge Mendes, right? Like, I want to go here. I'm a Benfica fan. I'm not going to put the club in that situation because I'm the one that put them in this situation. So we're going to shake hands. I'm not going to, I don't want any indemnification. We're going to move on from it, right? But again, legal contract, the agents involved. I'm sure it's going to be complicated. I don't foresee Mourinho paying it himself out of his pocket. There's also rumors that Jorge Mendes has offered to pay the release fee to get this process moving forward, pay it himself, right? Which I'm sure he'd go get it somewhere else, right, in the contract with Real Madrid. But like, there's just, that's the common denominator that makes this so much more difficult, because with Jorge Mendes comes that, but then all these rumors that you see, Felipe Luis, who's his agent? Jorge Mendes. Marco Silva, who's his agent? Jorge Mendes. Right? So it's like he's involved in so much shit that, like, if he's not going to get it here, he's going to get it there.
He's going to get
And
his money
it
no
just
matter what.
complicates it.
Yeah, he holds a
I would just love for Rui to get a sack finally and just fucking.
Yeah, but I wouldn't love to
one way or
get a
another.
sack and spend $15 million and be like, oh,
No, you're not spending 15. You're spending.
I don't
3 or
think it's
4.
15 for us to get rid of him. I think it's 15
We're
if he
paying-
leaves. I think it's
Yeah.
a smaller amount if we trigger the clause.
Right.
There's no deadline on the clause. There's no
Three-
deadline as to when that decision
$3 or
should
$4
be
million
made.
dollars. That's what,
the
like
deadline,
3 more
the deadline
concerts?
was that, so before the 10-day window, it was 3. And then there was rumors that they agreed that if it went past the 7 days or the 10 days, that it would fall somewhere in the 7 to 8 million. But now that it's surpassed the 10 days, the number that's been thrown out there most consistently is the 15 million. But again, those are all just right there. Those release clause numbers they don't get reported to the CMVM. So only those that are involved and have access to the contract actually know the actual figures. And Steve says here he heard on Sam TV that Real Madrid is going to play. And there's the other piece to this where if the clause is paid between clubs, it's 15 million flat. There's no IVA, which is the tax in Europe. If it's between the club and a person, Mourinho would have to pay more, or Jorge Mendes would have to pay more because of the IVA. So it would be that fee plus the tax on top of it, right? So beneficial to them would be the payment be between clubs because it eliminates that additional spend. So there's a lot of nuances here, but taking the clause out of it, Kenny and Oscar, like, how do you look at this situation?
I think it's chaotic. I think it's like it puts like the season ended the way it did. I thought, at least now we have a coach for the next season that can be working behind the scenes when the World Cup's going on and kind of setting up the team for the next season. And this just throws a wrench into the freaking mess that we already have, and it creates more problems. So now we go into the World Cup in a couple of weeks, and we don't know who our coach is going to be. Players are going to leave the club to go play the World Cup, and then they're going to hear these news on TV or on the phone or text message or whatever it is. It just makes this a complete mess for us to prep a season that we have to start pretty soon because of the qualifiers. Yeah. So hopefully Rui Costa has a plan. Hopefully he has a sack like Bill said, and it makes decisions, because we cannot keep waiting. At each day that we pass is a valuable day that we're losing.
Yep.
So we need to like make decisions here. If we have to lower the price for Real Madrid to take Mourinho right now so we can get a coach, do it. We can afford to be without a coach until the World Cup starts.
And the longer we wait, right, and if he does go, then like Marco Silva's not going to be waiting around for Benfica.
And I think Marco Silva is doing the same thing Mourinho is doing to Benfica, is doing it in Fulham, because I think that both of them are in limbo. Like, are we going to go to Real Madrid? Am I going to go to Benfica? Should I say yes to Fulham? Should I say yes to Benfica?
But that's the thing. I think they know what's going to happen because their agent is the same one.
Right, and that's why they're not both saying yes.
Definitely tell Marco Silva, listen, a conversa com Real Madrid foi X, right? So here's what we can play with. And then Jorge Mendes knows what the conversation with Benfica and Marco Silva was, right? So it's like that one guy in the middle of all of them. Yeah. Kenny, what do you think?
I mean, you kind of put yourself in this position, right? And I understand that these contracts have these release clauses, and it's a business, and that's part of the whole, organism of football, right? But in my opinion, Bill said hopefully Rui Costa has a plan. In my opinion, Rui Costa to me doesn't have a plan. I don't think he's ever had a plan. He's very reactive. We've seen it with the firing of coaches, middle of the season on short leashes. I don't think he goes into it. He's just very reactive on things. And from Mourinho's perspective, I think if he's out the door and then he comes back, Mourinho can talk his way out of anything. He'll come back. He'll talk to the players, and he'll get back on their side. So I'm not worried about that. But from a fan perspective, I think that's where it's mostly affected, right? Because I don't see the fire, like Mike, you were saying earlier. I don't see the fire that Mourinho has. I don't think he's good for the club anymore. I think it is time to move on. I'm not a big fan of Marco Silva either, but I don't think there's many decisions. Again, sounds like Mins is kind of puppeteering everything, and it
Basically,
sucks. But
been doing it for years.
Yeah, and that's the reality of it, right? So I think we're in a shitty situation that we put ourselves in. No fault I'm not blaming Rui. I mean, those contracts, they have to have those release clauses. I get it. You just wish.
And I think it made sense in this case to some extent. Is there was elections, right? So if if he didn't win, the next president at least had an out. So I don't disagree with it. It's just, given how the season played out, it ended up in this case, because Real Madrid came knocking, it ended up
the same thing,
complicating it more than we probably would have ever expected.
Right. You wouldn't think Real Madrid, like, when's the last time Real Madrid had elections, right? Like, it's just bad
They
timing.
just did.
Yeah,
Danny just mentioned it.
2025. Yeah,
2025.
Danny mentioned.
Oh, okay.
So why the hell did he call for elections? He won in 2025. The reason he called for elections is there was a lot of contention around him. The media has been all over him. The fan base has been all over him. Arbeloa, Xabi Alonso. It's just, and then the chaos with the players in the locker room and the rumors of them beating each other up and all that shit. So he came out and did a press conference, and it was funny because people were saying, oh, he's got terminal illness. He's got cancer. He's going to step down. And I was watching the press conference. The first thing he said, he sat down. He was like, I hate to break it to you guys, but I'm not stepping down. So, and then he was like, if I had cancer, don't you think I would have been getting treatment and I would be in the doctors and everyone would know? No, I don't have cancer either. So he called for elections to basically say, hey, I'm going to call for elections and I'm going to win again. Again, I don't think he expected to have contention, but we'll see how that plays out. So that's the reason why he called the elections. But I wanted to touch on a point here, and actually quickly, our Paulo77 on Instagram says, Florentino will win, Mourinho will leave, we'll secure the bag, end of story, hopefully. And he says the reality is that Jorge Mendes, the carousel of players and coaches needs to continue. Unfortunately, that's been the case, not just with us, but also some other Portuguese teams. My question to you guys is, Marco Silva has been the name that's been most thrown around, and it sounds like he's most likely going to be the chosen candidate. My concern with Marco Silva is I think he plays an offensive-minded football, right? He typically plays a 4-2-3-1, so similar to what we've been playing. My concern here is he's been at Fulham for 4 years. The first year he joined, he brought them up from the championship. They won the championship, and then since he's been in the Premier League, he's averaged, his placement for the Fulham has been between 10 and 13th, right? So he's not really been above that mid-table threshold. My question to you guys, and my concern is, he hasn't been on a team, right? Before Fulham, he was at Everton. After he left Sporting, he was at Olympiacos, which, okay, is the favorite to win the league there. I think he was at Hull City, if I'm not mistaken, as well. He hasn't really played at a team that's going to be as demanding as Benfica, right? Where you're expected to win everything domestically, right? Fulham, yes, you're in the Premier League, you're in a very competitive league, but he hasn't been playing like Fulham. Isn't expected to win domestic titles, right? If it comes with the season, that's a bonus, right? But there's no expectation for them to win the Premier League. There's no expectation for them to finish in the top 4, right? So that, I feel like, is a different mentality. And then the other thing is, I was looking at the players that he signed at Fulham, And I think the one positive side of that is that his average of signed players while he was at Fulham, summing them all up, was about 15 million per player. His most expensive was a guy named Kevin, who he signed last year for 40 million. And he's had a couple for 31 million, 29 million, which obviously are going to be out of the price range normally for Benfica, especially without Champions League. But at least his average of spend at Fulham has been 15 million, which is in the range of, something that Benfica would pay. But does it concern you guys that, yes, he's Portuguese, he understands the league. Yes, he's coached in Portugal. He hasn't coached in Portugal in about 11 years. But coming from teams that don't have that demand, and I get it. Roger Schmidt came from a team, where was he? A PSV, right? So yes, he was at PSV, expect to win the Dutch league. But I feel like the demand at Benfica is different. But does that concern you guys, or do you not see it as a red
I
flag?
can jump in on this. I really don't think so, because history has taught us not to think like that way. We have that Mourinho example that he came from where to go coach Sporting Braga, for coach Sporting, and you see what he did at Sporting, made them play the best football Sporting has played in years. We have the Mourinho. What happened to Mourinho when he went to Porto and won the Champions in the Europa League? Same situation. Where Mourinho come from? Now Lidia, right? So you can't think like that, because if the guy has, like, you can tell Marco Silva knows what he's doing. Fulham plays some good football, right? It's in EPL, competes, and I think now being in Europe and not Champions League, it's a little less pressure for him, or like we can play his offensive game and actually dominate games, and it might pan out. I think I like that Marco Silva idea. I really do. I don't like to change the whole system like a Mourinho would change it. Mourinho would put the 3 back and all that. That's Benfica's try that with Roger Smith and didn't work out. So it'll take years to adapt to that. Like Sporting took years when Mourinho ended in 5th place or fourth place, I think it was. So it takes a long time to get to that, to adapt to a system like that. So Marco Silva is a plug and play. I think it would be the best option in my view.
Bill, Kenny?
I'll go. I know Kenny's steaming up. We're ready to rip it. I'll let him go last.
Who invited Agostinho Silva to this chat?
we got a Porto fan in the chat. I'm not going to bring up his pictures or his comments, his or hers. I can't see the picture, but it looks like is there a pig in the profile picture?
So,
he's a Porto fan.
I think it's Pedro's.
There is a pig. There's a pig. Slumber party sessions. Listen,
that's actually really funny.
If you're a Porto fan, we appreciate the attention you're giving us. So we appreciate it. Everyone's welcome here. And again, no hate.
Pedro's burner.
He hasn't said anything disrespectful. I guess aguentem vocês são pequenos do Salazar já era. I mean, listen, we appreciate the attention you're giving us. Agradecemos. Abraço para ti. E ficamos contentes por poderes festejar um título. Já eram há alguns anos, mas agradecemos. Kenny or Bill, what were you gonna say?
I was agreeing with what Oscar's last point is. It's the man. He'd be the manager that would require the least kind of amount of changes, right? You're not changing profile of player. You're not rebuilding the system. Like it's literally like the players we have more or less fit the type of formation he typically plays. And I mean, we all know Benfica fans. We don't have the patience for like as much as these Benfica fans say we want a project and like there has to be a project in place. We don't have the patience for it. It happened with Roger Smith, right? Like the second it went south, everyone was all over him, ready to fucking throwing water balls at him in his own stadium. Like it's just how it is. Like, so we can't go through bring in a guy that plays.
I saw people asking for Cesar Peixoto, which I think he's got a promising future. But imagine like you're going to give him a leash.
Yeah, that's the problem. Chance. Like these coaches don't have at Benfica, they don't have a huge leash, right? Like you can't go through a year or two of third and then imagine if we ended in 4th place, dude.
No, it's already bad enough in 3rd place. Imagine
legit,
4th place.
Like,
get out of here.
So like I think the Marco Silva, the potential for Marco Silva to come in, it fits the type of players we already have. No, I mean I want to say mediocrity. Like you're comparing him finishing 10th to come like in the EPL to the Portuguese League. Fulham comes in the Portuguese League, they're fighting for the title. Like it's easy. Like,
but they have different resources. So
he had a
it's tough
stint.
comparison.
He already had a stint in the Portuguese. He didn't. What did he do?
11 years ago.
yeah.
I think he won.
How many
That's-
players, how many coaches had stints in Portugal and didn't do shit, and they did plenty elsewhere.
And then
Like
they come back. And then they come back and do what?
Look, no, Nuno
I mean-
Espírito Santo legit like was horrible.
Sucked.
Horrible, and then he did pretty well in the Wolves and all that. So like, I mean, like,
He could have not Forest.
So why didn't he come back? Why hasn't he come back?
how am I
He
supposed
might.
to? Because he
He's-
gets more
he's
money
at
off
West Ham.
I just think it's the safe pick. It's the continue down.
Kenny,
It continue down the same road.
It's a
continue
safe.
down.
It's a safe pick, but the fans don't give the leash to be able to go and
You're
and get-
already in the low.
You go and get a Cesc Fabregas, right? 3-back system. You have to slowly rebuild the squad because you're not in Champions League, so you don't have the influx of money to be able
And you
to
don't
do
have-
a big
and you don't have
overhaul.
the pressure. And you don't have the
Wait,
pressure.
why would you say Fabregas?
Because that's the name.
been saying
The
the
other
name
name
recently.
reported.
I would
See,
not.
I don't thi- I think-
I would not sign for Fabregas. Holy shit, that would have been horrible.
That's the other name being reported.
I think that's an impossible
wouldn't-
scenario.
no, he doesn't
He just
come,
made
dude. He's-
Champions
is
League
he a
with
men's
Como,
guy?
and
He's a part owner.
No, he's not. And he's a minority
He's-
investor.
so
of
he's not in
He's
Como.
a part owner at Como.
No, yeah, he's not a judgment guy.
No.
If I was Rui Costa, my thing would have been like, I would have convinced the fans we are here for a 3-year project. I don't care how we do in the next year. I don't care. Don't come at me because I'm telling you right now, I'm going into this as a 3-year project. And then after the 3 years, if I have no results, then I will resign.
And those
Was-
are 3 years of his election.
Wasn't
His
that
election was in 3
Roger?
years.
Wasn't that Roger Smith?
And you're not.
But that's
So
the thing.
No,
Backing Roger Smith? No,
No.
that was him backing Roger Smith.
I'm talking
And
about
then you on this podcast had the fucking pitchforks ready to go.
no.
Fucking
Listen,
hang.
what I'm
You
trying to
were,
say
dude.
is-
Don't even
no,
say listen, because it
listen,
was.
Bill,
Benfica fans don't have the patience to go through a 3-year
There's
build.
a difference. Wait. There's a difference. When we're at the low, I can expect a 3-year project to go to the top. We're at the top, and I see us going low with the coach. That means not working. We're
One
at the
bad-
top. Roger had us Benfica playing the best soccer in that first year they
Yeah,
came in.
100% agree.
It was legit cliff. And then I'm like, so what do you see here, the potential wise, to go up again? You don't see it because he's bringing his players, and the more he brings in, the worse we're playing. So I see no potential there. Now, if we start at the bottom, like we are right now, at the bottom, 3rd place, it's basically at the bottom of the league in Portugal, right? We cannot get past that. If you get past Braga, then you really should get relegated, right? So with the third at the bottom, and all we have is up. So now set up a 3-year project. Get a coach that can work the 3-year project, get the youth in there, get some players that we can develop. And in 3 years, if we are not performing, the president goes, me and my administration will resign and call it a day.
And you think Marco Silva is the guy for the next 3 years?
No, I'm saying what Rui Costa is going to do is go the safe bet because the fans don't have like Bill said,
Patience,
they don't
bro.
have patience.
Yeah.
Me as president would do that. Would get a Sergio Peixoto type of guy and be like, this is a 3-year plan. Don't come at me next year if we end up in 3rd place. Don't come at me. This is what I'm-
So then you don't really agree with Marco Silva.
No, I personally, I would start. I'm gonna start from scratch. Right now, I think Mark Silva is the best option because it's plug and play, and we have no time to prep for the preseason anyways. And I think that's what Costa's gonna do.
Yeah. So I'm over it. I think it's been long enough that we have been. What is it? 4 years now we haven't won a title. 3 years? 4 years?
3.
2, 3.
So I think it's time. It should have been time to make a drastic change with Rui Costa, but the fans wanted to keep the same old. Now the coach situation, I think it's time to make a drastic decision. But of course, I agree. I think we're going to make the safe pick with Marco Silva and continue the same trajectory that we've been going on, which is just mediocrity. And I think that's the problem with Benfica. I think that's why we've lost our mística. That's why we don't have any fire. We continue to hire coaches that are passive, like just sit there, just stand there on the sidelines and put out a lineup and play the games. In my opinion, It's time to break the cycle. Cut the chain. If you're going to reset, and Mike said it, I said it, this Europa League is kind of a reset, then fucking reset. If not,
what would you do?
I would tell Menz to go fuck off. I'd tell Mourinho to fuck off, and I'd go find a coach that's ready to come in with a plan. But of course, Rui Costa doesn't know how to make a plan. He's just reactive, like he's doing right now. He's reacting to how Real Madrid's elections are going to go to decide who the next coach is going to be. And I think that's the problem with Benfica in the current administration. And I love Rui Costa, but unfortunately, he has put Benfica in such a hole that like we're like miserable. I'm miserable watching the games. The fans are miserable. They don't know. We don't even know what we want next. But if we continue down this path, I can guarantee you we're not going to see any different results. Maybe we'll win a Taça de Liga or we'll win a Super Taça like we did this, but we're not going to win the league. Like Porto made drastic decisions after 2 years of back-to-back slumps, and they cut the cord. The president died, so they were kind of forced to, but they cut the cord. They made a drastic decision.
Yeah, he died after the fact.
Well, anyways, it was around the same time. They went out and they got a coach I didn't really know much about, and they fucking cleaned house. And we're over here, let's just go get Marco Silva and continue the same thing and move forward with the same bullshit. Like, what are we doing? This is.
But remember, Porto cleaned house, but they spent more money than Benfica last year.
Okay, and they spent it right, and we spent money too, and we spent it in the wrong places. But again, I just think, and unfortunately, I know it's tough. It's probably not going to happen, and unfortunately, it's because of Rui Costa. But they
didn't spend more money than us, by the way.
It was close though. It was close enough.
Benfica spent 116. Porto spent 102.
But I'm not a big Marco Silva guy. I just think he's going to be another guy on the sideline, and maybe you'll get into second place. Maybe you'll fight for first all the way to the end, but you're not going to get over the hump. I don't think we're not going to see a run like JJ for a long time. For another 3 years while Rui Costa is there, we're not going to see a JJ run like we're used to, unfortunately.
I agree that whoever he signs next should be signed to a 3-year deal for the remainder of his tenure as president. Like, listen, this is the guy. I'm riding with him. And I remember, Kenny, you had talked about it when he signed Roger Schmidt, right? Like, if you're going to hitch your wagon to him, hitch your wagon to him.
Yeah.
Right? If you're going to go down with him, go down with him, right? But don't hitch your wagon to him. And then at the very first opportunity where, the road gets a little bit bumpy, you unhitch your wagon and tell you fuck off and go find someone else.
Because he's reactionary. He can't be the fans can't be displeased with him, and he reads that and has to make a drastic decision. Like, have a backbone.
And in that seat, you need to be able to you need to be able to listen to the fans and see what they're saying, but you also need to manage one of the largest organizations in Portugal. Like, you can't let it be managed from the outside in. And I feel like a lot of times, a lot of the actions taken are because of the pressure from the outside in. And it's like, all right, well, that's what they're asking for, so we're going to do that.
Yeah.
Danny says, didn't Sporting fire Marco Silva? That was at the time of Bruno Carvalho. And if I'm not mistaken, he got fired they fired him for mutual cause. And I believe it was because he didn't wear a Sporting suit in one of their games. And then they hired JJ right after. So I think it was just a crock of shit. That was what they hitched their wagon to say, hey, he didn't do this, so we're going to fire him.
How did he finish with Sporting that year? Well, or was it 2 years?
I think he was only there 1 year, if I'm not mistaken. I think he only won a Taça de Portugal, if I'm not mistaken. 2014 to 2015. And he won the Super Taça.
Okay. Third place.
He won the Taça de Portugal too in penalties. And then let's see. Mike says it's more than just coaching. Our scouting has sucked. Saw this forcing coaches to play investments, even if they aren't right on the option. And Rui's bending over backwards at every turn. Top it off, we've fallen off using Seychelles, which we should have never moved away from since the horrible last repeated transfer window. Our Porto buddies having a conversation with himself. I'll skip over his comments. The fact that Benfica is the club of the people is great and a curse at the same time. We keep electing shit presidents. Mikey says Ruben Amorim said in interviews prior to going to Man United saying that he wouldn't coach because Benfica because he wouldn't have complete control of decisions, only to get stuck with that kind of system at Man U. And then we need change so bad, but Rui Costa is like a demigod for the ignorant Benfiquista, I'm afraid. Again, independent of what side of the fence you're on in terms of the president. And unfortunately, I hope that we can get to the end of this week or the coming days, be at the end of the weekend, and have at least a solution. I'm very hopeful that the coach has already been picked and they're working in the background without anything being official, and they're just waiting for this Real Madrid shit to play out. That's what I'm hopeful of.
I mean, I just Googled it, and it's saying that, Marco Silva has a verbal agreement with Benfica.
Correct. I saw today on TalkSport that they said he turned down the 11 million that Fulham offered. To
3x what Benfica would pay.
Yeah, and I think Benfica's is like 6 or 7, if I'm not mistaken.
7 million a year.
Yeah, I think that's pre-tax.
7 million a year per coach.
I mean, they offered Mourinho 7.
Yeah, I know, but like that's to me. Who you ever pay coaches that much?
Yeah, JJ was making a good amount of money too. Roger Schmidt was making a good amount of money.
Inflation, bro.
Like, what's our most expensive player? Like, isn't it like 4 million?
I want to say 5 pre-tax. So, yeah. Oh yeah, 2026 guy.
When it was Rui Costa was like player personnel, wasn't he, under like Vieira?
He was the Diretor Desportivo, and then he was vice president.
And if I remember correctly, those are one of the best times of like player acquisition, right?
I mean, he signed Imad. He was a director with Imad.
And
he was. I don't think he was the Diretor Desportivo when JJ was there. I think we had Lourenço Coelho at the time with JJ's teams. And
I agree with, I think that was Mike who said about the scouting, and that's been a huge lack. I don't know what's going on. I don't even know.
We've lost our head of scout. One of them went to 1 or 2 of them went to
2 years in a row.
Man City, I think, is one of them, and yeah. So there's a lot to unpack here to figure out who's going to be next. But once we find out who's going to be next and who's behind the magic curtain, we'll be here to talk about it. But just to close this off, I wanted to run through quickly. Again, being out of Europa League, there's clearly going to be some modifications to the roster. But I wanted to get your thoughts on, I guess let's start with keep. Give me 3 players on this team that if they came to you and said, hey, I need 3 players, who can we not touch? Oscar, who would be your 3?
Oh God, Andre, just because what he did this season. Arsenal's Freddie, and my boy. I guess I gotta go with Rafa because I just.
Oh my
Jesus
God,
fucking Christ, dude! Nossa Senhora.
I was on board with the first 2, and then you lost me.
Take Rafa out of the equation, just because I hate saying this because I'm eating a lot of my fucking words. So I don't like saying it. That's why I said Rafa like last minute. But I gotta admit that we can build a team around Rios.
Oh my God, I wasn't expecting that. All right, I could get behind
from the last quarter of the season. I saw that.
Fair, okay. We can appreciate the little bit of humble pie. I like that, Bill.
So legit,
because I didn't want to say Rios, Danny. That's why.
We got it out of him though.
Yeah, the first 2 that he said were, I feel like that's automatics, right? Freddie and Andreas. Freddie's the heart and soul of the team. Andreas, our best player this year. And then for me, given the fact that we're losing Otamendi, which is like has been the cornerstone of our defense, right? I would look at one of the center backs. We can't lose one of those guys, right? So to me, looking at Tony and Tomas, I prefer Tomas as a player. So I would say Tomas is one that we can't get rid of.
All right. So you said Sheldrup, Auschwitz, and Tomas Arujo.
Yep.
Okay. Kenny, did you have time to think?
No, yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the squad, and man, this squad is shit, dude. It really is. Holy shit. No, but I'd have to agree with Bill. I was gonna say Tomás Araujo, Andreas. You know, I've been a big fan of Auschwitz, but I do think he took a step down, but I don't think he's going anywhere, and he still is kind of, you know, the guy that,
until you stopped watching soccer. After
Once he got moved centrally, dude, Freddie.
no, he is
went
the
back to old.
midfield. No, he does a lot. He does a lot for the team, and honestly, there's not a lot more to pick from. So I would say I'd agree with Bill in those three.
I didn't even think of Barreto, but Barreto is actually a good choice too. Good call.
I think he is too, but I would say definitely ones that we can't get rid of.
Certain a price, I would get rid of Barreto.
Yeah, I would say definitely Auschwitz. I'm still a big fan of Rio, so I would add him in there. The center backs, I guess we'll get to that, but I'm not really sold on either of them. And who was your other one, Oscar?
Andres.
Sheldrup. Sheldrup. Yeah, I think with the year that he had, I think it would be good for him to have one more good year at the club. So I could get on board with that one. Mikey says, "OB still hoping PZ comes back out of retirement."
Two Nordic boys.
He
Barreto is
retired.
a good squad player, but not to be a starter. Agreed. I think we all talked about Barreto is a good player to be in the squad, but he can't be. If he's an automatic starter on Benfica squad, then something wasn't put together properly.
But we got to admit that this season is top 3 of our season.
Easy, but I think that also is telling of how this squad was built and how we played. But I think we all agree that if the squad is built properly the way a club like Benfica would expect, Barreto can't be an automatic starter. All right. Top 3 that you would sell for whatever reason, whether you don't like him, whether you think because we need money, he's going to have more value right now. Bill, I'll start with you.
Salters. Fuck, dude. Dude, like you look, I'm legit like just scrolling to the squad. You got fucking Brumas, fucking Rafa's.
Don't talk shit about Rafa.
Enrique Araujo. Like we have so many guys. I mean,
give me 3.
I'm gonna go. This is gonna be Kenny's gonna fucking grin ear to ear.
No, I'm not. I know you're gonna say no.
He has been all over this guy, and I've defended this guy. But I think Pavlidis, given the fact that we're in Europa League, we do need some cash, and I do think Ivanovic can turn into that type of striker we need. So I would go. Let's go Pavlidis, Bruma.
But you got no value for Bruma.
Bruma's going for free.
Yeah, dude. at least get some value.
Listen, his criteria is his criteria. This is his business model. That might not be the best
one. Getting junk off the team, dude.
Dude.
Hey, so you said Bruma, Pavlidis,
Bruma, and
Avocado eram tantos, agora you're struggling.
Well, now I'm fucking getting ripped over here for fucking wanting to sell dead fucking weight.
You can't let your club be managed from the outside. We just talked about that. You got to have.
I'm like Rui Costa.
Who's your third? Who's your third?
Let's go Luca Bacchio. He didn't do shit when he fucking at Benfica.
Okay. Hopefully, there's still some value there. All right, Oscar.
You guys really didn't like Luca Bacchio?
I mean, he did shit.
He didn't do anything. He didn't score a single fucking goal.
I think he was a very threatening player. I think he got hurt. He got hurt too, but
he did. He got hurt. And he came hurt.
Well, I think he was a very dangerous player. I just didn't think he got enough.
No, he's a sabri.
I agree.
So I think this is Sudakov is one of them, just because there's value there. And we need it, and he did not adapt Benfica. It could be because Rafa came in or whatnot, but it's just.
Wait, who did you say, Sudakov?
You ain't getting the price we bought him for.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll get some money back, and right now he's not doing shit on the bench. And Sudakov, Enzo Barrachea, I think it started off decent, and then he had that slip against Sport, whoever it was that he had.
You haven't even paid full price for him yet.
But yeah, get him off the team. I'll absolutely take Florentino over him in any day. And the other one, and this probably goes into Bill's Bruma situation, but Sidney Cabral, I don't even fucking know what happened.
Another fucking dude. What a waste.
So you're making net negative
Nothing
net on your sales.
No, on Barrachea and Sudakov, I'm making some money.
You haven't even paid for Barrenechea yet. You haven't even paid the full price.
Yeah, but we don't have to pay for them. They're making money by not having to pay.
We're making money by not
Yeah.
losing money.
Yeah.
Your math's not
Hey, I want to
mathing.
sell you. I want to sell you this guy. I still owe $20 million, but
Yeah, so you sell it for $20 million. You're saving $20 million. That means like instead of paying, you save.
who's going to pay you $20 million when you owe $20 million on a player?
It didn't cost us $20 million. Period.
Whatever. I'm throwing
I think
numbers
it's
out,
like,
but
I think it's like 15.
15.
no one's going to pay you
Yeah.
15 if you owe 15. What the fuck?
He's up. We're
The other
upside
guy,
down on
who
that
do you think
deal.
you're dealing with on the other side?
Wait. So what do we have to buy him this year?
I thought it was an
Yeah.
obligation to buy.
Yeah.
So he ain't going
Sure.
anywhere. But
Fine. Then fucking get rid of all the other junk that's in it.
I
Okay,
think
who you got?
if you're selling players, like there's a difference between, okay, I got to sell this guy because there's value versus like I got to sell this guy because he's trash. I mean, if we're talking like we got to sell for value, I think Trubin, Pavlidis, and probably and then it's slim pickings. I mean, I think maybe you can get something out of Manu in the Portuguese league. Maybe someone will.
Manu's
him.
not going to give you any money. Not after the season, the surgery he had or injury.
Maybe in the Portuguese league. I mean, I don't think you spent a lot on him.
Yeah, Estrella might give you $50.
Then Leandro Barreiro.
Oh God.
Okay. The end of it. I would go. My business approach here is going to be to make some money since we're not in Champions League. I would go Pavlidis, like Paul says, because I think he's going to give us the most value right now.
And he wants to go. I heard.
Yeah, his interviews towards the end of the season were a little bit weird, but I don't know if that was an issue with Mourinho or not. So Pavlidis for one. I think that Antonio Silva leaves. There's rumors that he doesn't want to renew, and he's out of contract at the end of 26-27, but 27-28. And if we let that drag on, we're going to lose even more
That's a good
value
call.
on him and
You know,
potential
that's the
to walk
situation
away
for
from.
Andres.
That's a good call.
Is in
Same
what?
situation for Sheldrup because I heard he doesn't want to renew either.
Yeah, and I know that
I
there's
think
interest
Sheldrup has.
with Sheldrup's contract ends same thing, June of 2028.
Same
Okay, so
situation
same
for
photos another year.
Sheldrup.
So I think Antonio Silva is a potential to piece out. And then my third, I would go with. I mean, there's not many others that you're going to get actual money out of. Well, there are, but I don't think they're going to go. So I'll go with Enzo. There's rumors that they're trying to drop ship him in the Saudi league. See if somebody
I thought you couldn't sell Enzo.
No, yeah, I
you
forgot.
can sell Enzo. The thing is that you've got to.
No, you're right. I forgot about the Saudi league. They don't go. They don't go.
The guideline.
Their rules are different. Yeah, they
They take IOUs.
yeah.
All right, so we got those three out of the way. I'll skip the loan one for now, just from a time perspective. But I'll ask you guys two more questions. Player of the season, who you guys? I think for the most part, it's going to be pretty consistent. Okay. Oscar said Freddie. Bill said Andreas.
I can agree with Sheldrup, but
I can agree with Freddie. Same thing. I mean,
yeah,
Freddie and Andreas.
But Freddie, to me, when we noticed when he was out, even Mourinho said it. Freddie is the team. He is the team, and you could tell a big difference without Freddie and with Freddie. So to me, that makes him the most important player.
Yeah, I would say Fred. I mean, and Andreas, he came on second half of the season, but Freddie, he's kind of that. Yeah, he's a big player.
I mean, Freddie was on the verge of being sold to Club Brugge for like $8 million in January,
Andreas,
and all of a sudden he came out of no. Oh yeah, that's what I meant, Andreas. and he came out of nowhere and had the second half of the season to remember. I would agree. I think either one of those are fine, but I would go with Freddie just from a more consistent perspective. And then disappointment of the season. Kenny, I'll start with you.
Sudakov.
That's a
Okay,
good shout, too.
Oscar.
Yeah, that's the same. That's why I had on my sell list because you're disappointing.
Okay, Bill.
I mean, Sudakov's a good one. That I'm trying to think who else.
Enzo was too. Very disappointing.
Yeah,
that's mine.
The way he started, I thought we fucking hit the jackpot on that on
Yeah.
Enzo, and then it just legit
He's-
cliff.
He was mine. I think there's a few that we could choose, but he was definitely mine. Enzo. I thought.
I mean, you can't
he
say
looked
Pavlidis was your biggest disappointment. The guy, the second,
Yeah,
the end of the season, he ended
that's-
horribly, but
Like you still had our best goal. How many goals he
Yeah.
scored this season? 31.
Best,
30-something.
bro. He scored 30 goals across all competitions. Do you
Yeah,
know
like-
how many goals the second leading scorer had?
like 5.
Anyone else want to guess?
For the team? For Benfica?
All across all competitions, second
Yeah,
leading scorer for Benfica.
probably Sheldrup with like 12,
10.
10.
Sheldon. 20 goal difference between your first and your second.
He had a horrible second half of the season, but
Correct. But imagine if he was consistent in the second half of the season as he was in the first. He would have
Yeah,
scored
I,
like 50
I
goals.
saw it coming. I saw it coming.
Yeah,
Fair,
but
fair.
the whole team kind of went down the cliff, so he was just one of them.
I'll tell you
Fair.
something. Sudakov came with as much hype as Koksu. At least Koksu like played and showed something at times. I mean, I don't know what the fuck happened with Sudakov.
I don't know if it was before or
I
after
mean-
you left, after you jumped off the wagon, but Sudakov started playing well when he started playing in his position, and then there was a deal that was made that brought someone into the club that took his position, and it all just went to
But
shit.
I wonder. But wait, I wonder why he took his position. Like, did the coaches see something in Rafa they didn't see in Sudakov?
I don't know, but I'll tell you what, I didn't see much from Rafa. that
Rafa was a
Sudakov-
fucking no-show all season.
I saw goals and stuff. Sudakov was not scoring.
goals.
Rafa had what?
I mean,
2,
he-
3?
six.
Rafa had 6.
Sudakov had 4.
Oh shit! And who played more games?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I got. Okay.
How many good performances did you see from Rafa?
How many did you see from Sudakov?
I would probably say
More.
the same.
Probably more.
No, you did not see more
Su-
from Sudakov.
Sudakov went through like a 4 or 5 game spell where he played
Yeah.
really well.
He did.
Rafa,
And then he got benched. Why? Because
Rafa came in.
No, I know, but we paid 30 million for Sudakov, right? We paid 10.
Go
what
ask-
was it, 8
go ask
million for
Mourinho.
Rafa. I thought.
Go
I
ask
thought-
Mourinho why.
Wait, I thought that we played because of the investments. I thought we played because of the money.
I mean, that was someone said that in the comments. Clearly,
Yeah.
we didn't.
Clearly
What?
we didn't. Yeah.
The what?
Sydney would have played. Sydney would have played if we were playing just investments. Although I think Ivanovic played towards the end of the season because of that, because they were trying to get him to go to the World Cup and inflate his value.
I know.
But who took his spot instead?
Oh, that
Musa,
guy, Petar Musa, who I was a big fan of
Oh, Musa. Is
Yeah,
he
he
still in
went
the
to-
MLS?
at Dallas.
Yeah, and he took
he's doing
he
well.
took Ivanovic's spot at the World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, he sucked.
Ruben Santos says, "Hi guys, it's late here in Lisbon, but I can't let you chat. Can't let your chat in YouTube with only one comment from a Portuguese. And also, I like to listen to you guys. Benfica does not need to sell players for money. Appreciate it, Ruben. Sei que é tarde desse lado, por isso já está na hora de dormir. He said 30 million for Koksu, which is the loan to buy, 57 million for TV rights for Champions League, and 25 million for Fiorentino, which is the loan to buy.
That's the tweet
but-
I read. Yeah.
Yeah, but again,
So that alone hits your whatever to even the
Yeah,
quotas, right?
but you just lost Otamendi, so you have to replace Otamendi. So
No, I
there,
know that was my next question. Like, realistically, how many players do you see? Because, like, are we really gonna sign another 8 players or whatever it is? Like,
No,
is
I
that
think
shouldn't.
I think Pavlidis definitely leaves, and I think if there's another big value, it's Antonio. If there's an offer that comes in for Sheldrup that is like we can't say no, then yes. But I don't think we're gonna see a fire sale like many might expect.
well, like, so position wise, definitely need a center back.
At least one, maybe even
At-
two.
Right. That's what I'm guessing. Let's just stick with one. In the midfield, I think you got to. I think you got
Your
to.
center mids are fine. If you got Barreiro, you've got Rios, you've got Auschness, Manu still there. I think you've got enough coverage there.
And I think you got to still give Sudakov a chance. Like, I
Correct.
mean, so I think in the midfield you're fine. I think wings.
I think you need options.
Probably 2.
I mean, you've got Luca Bacchio, Prestiani, Sheldrup. You've got 3.
Prestiani's probably going to get loaned, in my opinion.
But then after
Loaned
those
or
3,
sold? Loaned or sold? I don't think Prestiani stays.
I think he had a decent season like towards the end.
I don't think
he
stays
did, but he just doesn't give you enough goals and assists.
Yeah,
but
there's
again,
no end product.
That was his first real season. So
yeah,
I don't think he gets loaned either. I think if he leaves, it would be on a sale, depending on what the value is. But wingers, I think we at least need one more
for the left side cover for Andreas.
Yes.
Okay.
And then strikers. If Pavlidis leaves, we're left with Ivanovic, and I'm going to be honest with you, Enrique Araujo's leaving. Yeah. I would loan Anísio. I would loan him.
Loan who?
I would loan Anísio Cabral. Dude, he needs to play. He's 18. He needs to play regularly.
Unless you're gonna, he stopped playing because every time he came in, he had decent games.
Well, that's your super sub.
I think I think that was the luck of the draw. But unless they're gonna rotate in the Europa League, right? In those early games could be an opportunity for someone like him. But if that's not going to be the case, I would loan him because at this age he needs to play regularly.
And I'm still wondering what is up with Enrique Araujo. Like, is he it?
Is he
Enrique
Araujo is the 2026 version of a guy that Jason was obsessed with, named Nelson Oliveira.
Dude. Fuck out of here.
It's true, but at least Nelson Oliveira got chances. I don't think this kid didn't get many chances. I don't know what's going on with him. Like,
I thought
not a Benfica.
2 years ago, you were scoring left and right. I'm like, this is the season. And then
he had a couple moments at Benfica where he had a couple goals and he was in the right spot at the right time. But even when he's gone on loan, obviously playing at clubs that aren't going to give you as many scoring opportunities is a little bit different. But he's just not been able to stand out.
He doesn't even play.
There's been so many different coaches that have come through that door, and none of them have been like, hey, let's give him a chance, right? Which I think is telling. And one of them being Bruno Lage, who came from the youth, and he didn't really see anything in him. So I think that the writing's on the wall with him. But then we've got guys like Gouveia coming back as well, right? Which I think is going to be, he's going to come in the front door and he's going to go out the back door. Like, I don't think he's good enough to play for Benfica, but that's just another one.
Oh, yeah. And that isn't there another one, Obrador or whatever? Or did we sell
Obrador?
No,
yeah.
we sold him.
I think he's on loan. No, I think he's on loan.
So what about fullbacks? Are you guys satisfied with Dahl and who's the other? Dedic?
Well, so
I like Dedic.
The right side, I think we're fine. Dedic and Ba, I think is great. Yeah.
Do you think Ba stays?
I think he will unless there's an offer that comes in from him. I don't think he's going to be the starter. I think Dedic starts for sure. But I think having those two, I think gives you. But then you also got Benjaki, who's waiting in the wings, and on the left hand side you've got Dahl and then Neto.
But
you got to bring some. I think you got to bring another one on the left.
Playing the left.
Who? Sidney Cabral?
Yeah.
I mean, he can play there. He can play on the left and the right. Somebody said in the chat they would like to see Sidney Cabral as left back, but I don't know
because he's fast. He could be the fast Encontrão, and
he can play both sides. Yeah. But who knows what the hell's going to be made of him after the whole Real Madrid situation.
So what did we name? Like 5-6 guys?
I mean, I would say definite at least 3 or 4. Yeah, I would say a winger, a center back, and a striker for sure.
2 center backs.
Well, depending on if the 2 that we have stay, which I don't think they both stay. I think one leaves. If one of them leaves, then we need 2, Otamendi and the guy that's leaving. Yeah. If they both stay, which I doubt, then you need 1 at least.
Can we get more
got the guys?
Oh,
I mean, he's not playing F4.
Kenny was all over that bus. Yeah, Kenny was all over that one.
I actually don't even know where he's at, how he's doing.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest.
He doesn't play there either.
He does.
No.
Not really, dude.
Yeah,
I think he was, and then he stopped recently, but I think he was playing regularly. I think since Vitor Pereira came in, I think maybe he doesn't start as often. Mikey says, you guys happy with Trubin too? Dude, why'd you have to start this debate? Everyone here is going to say no. Probably I'm the only one that's still on board with him.
I'm
No,
fine.
Am
I'm
I
fine.
right?
I'm fine with him. But I think
Okay.
there's value. I mean, he scored in the championship.
I mean,
Oh,
if you can get scored in the Champions League,
savage. Kenny was waiting that one out to lay it out there.
I mean, I'll tell you one thing. Him telling the fans to shut up or to be quiet at the end of the season left a sour taste in my mouth.
Listen, I am of
Oh,
the
yeah, we didn't-
opposite
yeah.
opinion of that. I
he gets so much
dude, that
shit.
guy,
all
since the
fucking
day
game.
he walked in that stadium, he has been getting fucking roasted
Yeah,
left.
but
And I
you-
get
you-
it. You don't want to
you-
react to your fan base. I get it. But dude, they are human too. Like,
I know,
dude,
no,
this
no,
guy-
but to me, it felt like him doing that is him trying to leave. At
and
the
it
end of the
might be.
season.
I
He
don't
does-
know.
He doesn't do it during the season. He does it at the last game of the season.
Fair.
Like, okay,
Right?
so here it is. The fans going to be against me right now, and they have to sell me. And maybe that's
Fair.
a plan.
Maybe that's the plan. I don't know. But I mean, and again, you shouldn't be reacting to the fans. But after a certain point, dude, you're human, and that guy of everyone has gotten roasted over and over and over. It's like, the coach wants him to play a certain way, playing out of the back, right? So he waits the ball at his feet, and our home stadium booing him, right? Like, just like, bro, you guys aren't my coach. We have a strategy. This is how we're supposed to play, and like they're just constantly harping on him. So I'm not surprised that it boiled over. Is it the right thing to do? No. Am I bothered by it? To be honest with you, no, I'm not bothered by it at all. Mikey says, I think we need a keeper, a winger, a center back, a left back, and please strikers that can finish. I don't think we need a keeper, but I would
mean, if
say
we-
Tamu. Jay's
Mike,
not here.
we already got Rafa to score goals. All right,
Yeah. Rafa doesn't start next year.
Oh, okay, let's see.
You want to
Let's-
wager?
Wager. You said you just took Sudakov's our most expensive player's spot. With
You want to
Mourinho,
wager?
he doesn't care about.
I don't think he starts.
You also said Fiorentino doesn't start. The Pereira will start over him, and then that didn't happen.
Yeah, and where's Florentino now?
Yeah, he got
Yeah.
sold
Benfica.
for 25
Yeah.
Pereira.
Yeah, because they didn't want him. Rubenson says all this depends on the new coach. No, get out of here with the 3-4-3.
we're not doing. We
No
can't go
three. No three. Get out of here with the 3.
Hey, can I know we're up against it. Can I just bring up
Yep.
one other topic? Because at the onset of the season, I kind of predicted that, we wouldn't have a coach. And I also predicted that Ruben Amorim would be out of Manchester United and then he'd move to Benfica. Why do you think that he's just not ready to come back? Like, is he still trying to? Do you think he has offers still in abroad?
I think it's apart from him. I don't think he gets along with some of the people at Benfica. I think that was pretty obvious before he went to Sporting. He had a meeting at the Seychelles. They wanted him to coach the B team and then kind of work up through, and there was a disagreement there. I think there's people that he doesn't get along with, and I think there's potentially just in terms of the structure and kind of how all that looks, I don't think he's happy with it. This whole thing coming back now, I personally think, given the way that he left Sporting on a high, he went to Manchester United and he kind of left with his tail between his legs. I think him coming back to a Portuguese league, regardless if it's Benfica or not, I think maybe in his eyes looks like a step back. Right?
How do you not take a step back after Man United?
And
He's not going to coach another.
It's always going to be.
That's the thing. Like, I thought the same
But
thing, right? Like maybe you come to Benfica and kind of get your shit back in order in an environment that but it could be looked at as like, look, he failed at Man United and now he went back to his kind of safe space opposed to like I think he'd be more inclined to accept a top 8 team in the Premier League.
Well, I was going to say, like, is he going to take Fulham? Is he going to take Marco Silva's spot?
Like, I think he would be more open to taking that because he's in the Premier League versus coming back to the Benfica.
And that's the thing. Like, I think he's got to be cautious with his next pick because if he came back to Benfica and failed, that looks so much worse than if he goes to, say, a Fulham, a mid-table team.
I think it would be easier for him if Benfica was on a high to kind of just come in and ride that. Yeah. Whereas But then again, when he went to Sporting, they were pretty much in the same situation Benfica is in
know.
now.
Yeah,
And
but
he
he was
could-
an unknown,
Yes, but like,
Correct.
that's, the other thing though
and
is
he was able to.
he developed also from the youth, which
Yeah.
is right now what we need, because we can't spend that much, and I
Yeah.
think he would be. Again, it's unfortunate because again we go back to like, oh, os homens da casa. Another topic I wanted to bring up was like the Bernardo Silva stuff, but like these, like it just goes to show like they don't care, they really
No.
don't.
And the Bernie thing is again, he's another one that there's people in the Direção that he's still butthurt about
yeah.
with him having been sold. But for me, it's like, dude, Di Maria never said that I can recall him being like, I want to go back to Benfica, right? He just fucking came,
Mm-hmm.
right? And for as much as we can talk shit about Rui Costa of, Verão Quente when he wanted to go here or he wanted to go there and he left and he said, não podem cortar as pernas. People post those articles all the time. The reality of it is he came back.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
But then you've got all these people that are like fucking Bernardo Silva's constant. Dude, I saw more shit again today of like Benfica, and I'm upset with how they had let me go early and they should have taken more chance. Like, stop fucking talking about it. Like, if you don't want to come back, I'm not, as a fan, I'm not bothered by that. I get it. You have a short window as a professional player to make money. I get it. And if you want to go make money somewhere else, fine. But stop with this fucking constant bullshit of like, oh, okay. He said it himself, quero voltar ao Benfica quando ainda puder ajudar a equipa. Right? And it's like, here's your chance.
Yeah,
Legit.
he's just saying
He
it to say it.
He can go where he wants. The
Mhm.
power's in his hands, and he's
Correct.
decided not to come back.
Rui Costa
me,
was in that
it's
same.
fine.
Rui Costa was in that same position. He came back.
To
Correct.
me,
The same exact position. He came back.
Yeah, and it's just
He
like,
won't.
fuck
he doesn't want to come back. The door's shut. That's
Yeah.
it.
I'm the same way. Like, if you don't want to come
Fuck
back, like,
that, dude.
then don't come back, right? Like, no one's forcing you to come back, and it's just like you keep talking about it, and here's your window of opportunity, and you don't take that chance, and it's like, okay, you might not like the president, you might not like the situation that the club is in, but like, if you're a Benfica fan, Benfica is the club, not the president, right? People are going to respect you more as a fan and be like, listen, Dalma Casardir, and he came back. Right? Like, I'm going to respect that more of like, we know there's a history. He doesn't like people that are at the club still, but he came back when he had the opportunity and he was still young enough. Instead, he constantly talks about it. And then he like almost was like proud to say in that interview with Cantinho Costa, like, oh, já te disse para onde é que eu não vou. Que é o Benfica. Like, it's like he's proud of it. Like,
Right.
what the fuck? And he said there was context. Benfica reached out to see if he was interested in coming back. And these now. Right. So it's like, it's almost like he's shitting on it on top of it. Like, I'm proud to say that I'm not going there. And they reached out to me and I told them no. Like,
Right.
stop talking about it.
Yep.
Be done with it. Right. Cancelo's another one, talks about I want to come
Yep.
back. I want to see if he gets an opportunity if he comes back.
Yeah. And it just goes like, and it goes back to the conversation about like, oh, we got to play the youth. We got to keep the youth. These guys don't. This Benfica is a stepping stone. They don't like. There's the often occasion you have a João Neves. I get it, but like these guys don't. Like it's not like it used to be when Murakami. Like they don't.
No,
it's
no,
not
it's a
like that
different world.
anymore. It's a different world. So don't tell me that it's the academy has to be used. I get it. But like, don't tell me like, oh, these kids from homegrown, they have more heart. Like they know the club, they know the story. They don't care. They don't care.
When I say youth, I don't mean like.
No, I'm mostly talking to Tank, but
I'm talking about that's the most inexpensive way to make money.
Correct.
The club and to form these players. So what do you think when you get Di Maria at 19 years old? What do you think that's gonna do? A stepping stone as well. It's not gonna be different for 10 years.
Of course.
So might as well. But you're getting him for 15 million already, right? From the youth, you can get a player that like a João Felix or João Neves at zero because they're from the youth and make that kind of money with them as well. So you just have to develop the youth.
But isn't it funny how like the estrangeiros are the ones that come back like that almost feel more for the like the Di Marias, even like Otamendi wasn't a Benfica player, but like he's leaving on a high note, right? He came back at he played for us what 5 years Still,
5 or 6 years. He left when he came when Ruben left.
and he's leaving on a high note. And there's probably more examples, but like those are the most recent ones. But like you don't see
I mean,
anymore.
you look at Samaris,
yeah,
right? Like the attachment that he had to the club, right? Like again, I agree with you, Ken. I think it's almost like the ones that weren't homegrown are more connected to it in reality than the ones that were homegrown. As much as but the difference is the ones that are homegrown talk about it more.
Yeah.
And the ones that weren't homegrown don't talk about it as much, but have that different connection.
But you see the thing is, can I tell you now this is my time to shut you guys up, because you see how we respected Di Maria. He came back and he stayed with us for a couple more years, and that's it. We all clapped ovations and all that. He's a hero. But then when we have a player that stays with us for,
and I'm going to agree with you,
eight years, won us everything, was our MVP multiple seasons. We basically booed him out of our stadium. Back door.
I agree with you. And but do you know whose fault? In my opinion, who's at fault for that?
I don't know, because we lost against Sport 3-0, and we lost against Sport 3-0, so he bitched in the locker room, and then all of a sudden, get out of here because now go through the small door. That to me pissed me off as a team. That's why I said when you leave, you fucking moon the fans because they deserve it.
I blame the club.
He said he would take a shit in the middle of the field.
Yeah, you did. You said take a shit in the middle of the field and give them all the finger.
Yeah, that was the quote.
Somebody that does that is what I think our fourth most goal scorer. I think he is the 95 or 96 goals, whatever it is for his career.
But that's another structural problem at the club where we suck at ending cycles.
Absolutely.
We suck at it.
Big time.
Right. Pizzi, there was a time for him to walk away on a high. He didn't leave on a high. Rafa, same thing. There was an opportunity for Ender Almeida. There's another one. Luizão left mid-season in a fucking stadium that was empty. Like a fucking presentation with a bunch of lawn chairs in the state. Like we suck. Otamendi was another situation, right? Like, do you want to stay or do you want to go? Right? Like we need to dictate when those cycles end, and we suck at it. And history tells us that that's the case, unfortunately. And I don't know if we'll ever get out of it. All right, gentlemen. It was the first time back in a while, but we covered a lot of stuff. We will be back whenever Benfica decides to announce who their next coach is for us to dissect.
So the book is officially closed for 2020.
Right now, it's still a little bit open once we find out who the next coach is. Yeah, so we will be back with the World Cup special as we always do.
That's the book I want to open. I want to open that one.
We'll likely start the week of June 6th and do our specific podcast for the World Cup and the following the national team. I think me and Oscar will be in Houston to watch the first game of the group stage against Congo. Oscar, you going to the Miami game against?
I'm gonna be a watch party, but not going to the stadium.
Okay. So we'll be around and we'll be covering that. And then again, we'll likely put something out if and when, or I guess not if. Hopefully we have a coach soon. But we'll figure out what the outcome of that is when it comes. And then for the Portuguese podcast, we will have a few different participants as well to share their thoughts and opinions. But as always, a pleasure chatting with you guys. Thank you for everyone that was in the comments. Again, don't forget to follow, like, share, subscribe, do all those fun things for us. And we'll be back soon enough, either within the next week or the week of June 6th. If we're not back before June 6th, it's because Benfica doesn't have a coach yet, which is a huge problem. So hopefully we'll be back before June 6th, or at least to finalize the 25-26 season for Benfica. Gentlemen, have a good evening. And as always, Viva o Sport Lisboa Benfica. Good night.
Good night, boys.
Bye, guys.